Have you always thought it'd be a really cool idea to build your own devices using ESP32s, but it's always been too difficult either from the hardware side or from the software side? Well, today's the day that all of that changes. Apollo Automation, along with Nabokasa, has just launched this ESP32 starter kit. And along with that, they've updated the ESP Home device builder within Home Assistant so that it's very, very easy to install. So today I'm going to show you a step-by-step process of how to set this up, what to do with the hardware, and how to get your first device running. Now, just to be upfront with you, Apollo did send this device to me free of charge, but they haven't paid me any money and they've got absolutely no control over what I'm about to tell you about it. So the ESP Home Starter Kit is selling at $45.99 US. Now, when you originally receive the pack, you'll see it comes in this breakout board. Always be really careful when breaking these pieces out not to damage any of the individual pieces themselves. So the first part you need to find is this one. This is your ESP32 itself. You can see we've got a little Wi-Fi antenna on the side. We've got a reset and a boot button. Then we've got our USB-C connector used for powering and flashing the device. And then we have these two ribbon connectors for connecting it to some of the sensors. The sensors that are included in the original pack are the button module. We've got a temperature and humidity module. We've got a PIR sensor for sensing motion. And then we've got this little RGB LED board. Now, there are some additional devices available here now. There's a Dallas temperature sensor probe and a Sense 65 air quality module. But bear in mind, in order to use these two devices, you would need to buy this additional breakout module, which allow you to connect them. Once you've broken the pieces apart, you'll see this is what you've got. So your USB-C cable has two purposes. First of all, for powering the devices, you will need to supply your own power brick. And secondly, you can use this to actually flash these devices. Having a look at the components, we've got a little 3D printed stand that allows us to stand this little device up in it and also to place your little ESP32 over there. Next, we've got the ESP32. This is a C6 module as well, so it's one of the later models of ESP32s. If you're looking at ESP32s, you'll find that there's a whole range of different modules, and the C6 is one of the newer versions. Now, having a look at this, these two little ribbon cable connectors, this is how we're going to be connecting our devices to the ESP32. So it comes with three of these little ribbon cables. Now, the way that these work is you find the side with the little silver lines on it, because those are the actual connectors, and you slide that in over there. First of all, make sure that this little pin is in the upward position, or this little flap. Then you slide that in there carefully and click it down, and that will now connect up. From here, you can connect up any one of your modules. So say, for example, you wanted to connect up your temperature and humidity. Once again, make sure the silver side is down, slip it in there, and just close it down like that. And that's how easy it is to connect your ESP32 over to one of the sensors. And as you can see with this, we can connect two of the sensors at once, but not the rest of them all at the same time. Now, I believe that they will be bringing out more breakout boards in the future that will allow you to connect more of one of these devices at the same time. If we look at the module over here with the LEDs, it also has an additional component on the back here. This is a little buzzer. This is really cool. If you've played around with some of Apollo's devices before, you'll see that you can actually play little tunes on this buzzer by putting some code in, which is really awesome. The infrared, or the PIR device, this is used for sensing movement. So you might, for example, build a little sensor with this and the ESP32 that will allow you to pick up some movement in a room, and then you could then trigger your lights, for example. Now, the next step, in order to get our ESP32 working with our sensor, we need to create some code to make the ESP work properly. Now, in order to do this, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can either download a small application that will run either on a Mac, a Windows, or a Linux machine, or otherwise you can install it into Home Assistant. So in today's video, we're going to be working on the Home Assistant ESP Home version. So for the purposes of today's video, I'm running it on a Home Assistant Green, and it's a basic installation working on the latest software release, which is 2026.8. So what we're going to do is we're going to go along here and we're going to press on the Show App button. So that is now going to open up the page in Home Assistant that is allowing us to store this app or install this app within Home Assistant. So next we press the install button and it will start the install automatically for you. Now that it's all installed, we need to click on the Watchdog, Auto Update and Show in Sidebar buttons and click Start. Now you click on the ESP Home Builder on the left side over here, and now we want to create the first device. So it's a welcome to the device builder, continue. So we press the continue button and let's say that we're new to ESP Home. So the first thing we're going to do is click on the create new device. Create a new project, and from here you can now select whichever board you are going to use to flash. So you might have a generic ESP32, for example. In our case, we're going to be using the ESP Home Starter Kit by Apollo, so we're going to select this one. We'll give it a name, click the next button. Next we need to insert our Wi-Fi SSID and password so it can find our Wi-Fi network. Now you can finish the setup. Now, having a look at our ESP Home Device Builder, you'll see that there are 3 sections over here. On the right-hand side, we can see that we have the ESP Home code, and it's built us some default code over there already. In the middle, we can see the selector for selecting different components. And on the left-hand side over here, we can drop down and see the individual parts of each of the components. So this is really cool. When I first started with ESP Home, you had to actually find all these little bits of code and put them together, but now it's all automatically done for you. So if we click on ESP Home Core, this tells us the type of ESP Home, the name of the ESP Home. Next, we've got the platform. So this shows us that we're running an ESP32 C6. It's got the flash size and the framework. Next we have the logger. This is basically used to log information as the system is running. Next we have our API key. This is used for connecting to another device like Home Assistant. Over there, air updates. This will allow the device to receive updates without having to plug it again, just receives it over the Wi-Fi. Next we have the Wi-Fi component. You'll see there that it's got all of the information about your Wi-Fi. We have the captive portal, and finally we have the web server. So there's no need to change anything yourself. All you need to do is add now the configuration to add the individual components. So if we select components, we now have access to add in individual devices. So say, for example, we wanted to add in the temperature and humidity module, which is the one that I've connected up. You would just click on it and it will then add it. However, it's popped up something that we need to add the I2C bus. Now, this is the communication protocol that the sensor uses to communicate with the ESP32. Before we had to work this out ourselves. Now it's done it all automatically for you. So just press the add button and save that and then add it. And there we go. We've now got a temperature and a humidity sensor. We could rename them, but we'll leave them as that for now. Now we can press the add. Now your system is basically all ready to compile and to flash over to your ESP32. Now plug your USB cable into the ESP32 and the other end into your Home Assistant Green. Now press Save to save your configuration. Next, click the Install button. Now we've got it plugged into our Home Assistant server. There we can see we've got the ESP device. We've also got a Sonoff dongle. This is our Zigbee dongle, so make sure you select the ESP device. Now you can see it's starting the install. Now, it's taken 15 minutes so long, and what it's told me here is that it's taking a long time. This is because we're running on the Home Assistant Green, which is a relatively low-powered machine. So what it's saying is we could actually use another machine to build it and to flash the device. For example, I could flash it on the computer that I'm working on at the moment to make it faster. All right, now we can see the flash is complete and it's connected to our Wi-Fi and we have full signal over there. So now we can close this part down here. Now, next what I want to do is add it as an integration into Home Assistant. Now, in order to do that, I need the encryption key. So I'm going to go along here and I'm going to copy my encryption key. And then I'm going to go to Settings, Devices and Services. You'll see that it's found it here. So we'll select Add. I'm going to paste that encryption key over there and submit. Now it's there. We'll just give it an area. We'll put it in the kitchen and we'll finish. And there we go. You've created your very first ESP home device. And as you can see, it's pulling in humidity and temperature from the sensor. Now, if we want to go and add another sensor to that same device, we can go back to our ESP Home Builder. We'll just edit the tour there, and we go in here and we select that ESP32. Now, if we want to add another component, we just go Add Component, and from our list here, we can select any of these devices. So say, for example, we wanted to add that PIR motion sensor. We click on that. And it automatically sets up the pin that it's going to monitor. This is the beauty of the ESP starter module, and we can select Add. Now we need to save that, and we need to go back and install it. So press your Install button again. I've still got it plugged into my Home Assistant Green. It's the ESP device. So now, as you can see, we've got both our temperature and humidity sensor and our PIR sensor connected both at the same time into our ESP home device. And now if we go back to have a look at our ESP home device, you can see here we've got our temperature and humidity. And if we move our hand near the motion module, you can see that it starts detecting motion. So a huge shout out both to the guys at Home Assistant and Nabucasa as well as Apollo. It's been absolutely fantastic playing with this new ESP home device. It makes it just so simple, and the new software for the ESP home developer is just so much easier way to put things together. You don't even have to know how to do the YAML coding. So I'll be very interested to get your feedback. Let us know if this is something that's going to allow you to now move into playing with ESP home devices. And I think once you've learned on the starter kit, you'll be able to start building your own devices. You'll see on my channel, I've got a whole lot of different ESP home devices that you can build. Things like air quality sensors, like with CO2 and millimeter wave presence sensor and all sorts of things. So welcome to the world of ESP home. And I really look forward to hearing from you guys in the future. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.